We just witnessed the best game of the season from Indiana. This one went down to the final seconds. Nothing could separate these two teams, and it had everything from clutch shots, dramatic comebacks, and insane performances from players on both teams, who both needed this win. Indiana trying to get back on track after a loss to Minnesota, while the Atlanta Dream are fighting for their playoff lives. This might have been game of the year, so let's talk about it. First points of the ball game come at the line, but that's no way to start a video. How about this? Caitlin Clark doesn't get the look she wants, gives it back to Boston, keeps moving off the ball, gets it back, fakes the shot, launches a sidestep three on the money, it's good, and the Fever are off to a great start early on. Down 5, Atlanta fall back on the legend. 35 years old and Tina Charles still has it. Watch her spin and fade with a hand in her face and get the friendly roll on the shot. That's why she was MVP of the WNBA. And then Aliyah Gray from the corner gets her first points of the night with the catch and shoot triple. Indiana a bit careless with the ball early on, 4 turnovers in the opening 4 minutes. Finally they get a boost. Clark with the ball in her hands down low is stalling and waiting for an opening. Lexi makes a smart read off the ball, comes up from the corner, loses track of her defender. She's wide open from 3 and that's automatic. She's been absolutely unconscious for 3-point range since the Olympic break, becoming one of just 4 players in WNBA history to shoot above 70% during a 5-game stretch. Gray on the drive here misses, but Tina Charles cleaning up inside puts it back for 2. And look at Indiana go. Clark with a sense of urgency creates an angle for the pass. Kelsey Mitchell is on the same page, cuts backdoor behind Howard, and Clark finds her for the assisted layup with a beautiful bounce pass that split the defense in 2. I asked you guys in my last video for some nicknames. Here is what you came up with. Salt and Pepper, the Splash Sisters, Thunder and Lightning, Shake and Bake. Let me know down below in the comments which of those you prefer and we'll try to make it stick. The next few plays were all Atlanta. Jordan Canada's pocket pass into Tina, she draws 3 bodies down low, kicks it out to Aliyah Gray who unselfishly makes the extra pass to Howard who knocks down the trifecta. That's great ball movement from the Dream. And then Canada is allowed to roam freely inside the arc, gets to her spot and knocks down the pull-up jumper for her first points of the game. Right here Howard's got a great look from the corner, misses, but Mitchell fails to box out down low, allowing Gray to get the rebound. She dumps it off to Tina Charles, who makes the push shot from close range. But Aliyah Boston wasn't about to back down to one of the GOATs without putting up a fight. Right here Aliyah on the low block, backing down Tina, sees the help defense rotating over, so she spins away from the help defender and scores over her left shoulder. Aliyah Boston at such a young age showing such high IQ down low in the post. Here's Boston again. She hands it off to Kelsey Mitchell, who's looking for a mismatch, sees an opening, attacks it, runs into trouble but hooks it in off the backboard at full stretch over the defender and in. Teams need to realise that when Kelsey Mitchell turns the corner on the drive, there's just no stopping her. Another player there is no stopping is Rhyne Howard. Former Rookie of the Year, knows that Katie Lou can't guard her, so she just blows by her, gets to the basket and lays it in. That's another quick easy bucket for the Dream with no resistance from the Fever. But Kelsey Mitchell is in her bag, this time on the other side of the court, uses the screen from Boston, and any amount of room is enough room for Mitchell to fire away. She does, and she connects on the long 2 off the dribble. Katie Lou is looking like a defensive liability here. She has her eyes on Caldwell but is just too slow to move and react to the play, doesn't close out in time, and the friendly roll on the shot adds 3 more on the board for the Dream. Luckily, Indiana can go get those right back. Kelsey Mitchell must have been mad about her last shot being a long 2, so she just went and got a 3 on this play, sizing up and letting fire, making it 10 first quarter points for her. Kelsey Mitchell, hotter than ever. The Fever turn to her trying to make something happen, but Kelsey Mitchell isn't going to force anything. She kicks it out to Boston top of the key, who instead of jacking up a low percentage shot, puts the ball on the floor, gets into the mid-range, pulls up and gets the shooter's bounce on the jumper. The first quarter ends and it's a close one. The Fever lead 22-21, but this game was about to get a lot more interesting. First points of the second, Atlanta remaining efficient, playing whoever offense on Katie Lou, and Kubaj down low goes to work and scores. But watch right here how the Fever turn defense into offense. Again, Atlanta are trying to exploit Katie Lou. Jones attacks, turns the corner in the lane, Samuelson can't keep up, but watch Temi here come from the weak side and deny her shot at the rim. Clark ends up with the ball and Temi knows what that means. Run the floor. Clark rewards her for doing such, slips the ball to her into the post, and Temi facing up gets aggressive, goes right at the defender and lays it in with the left hand. That is what you call winning basketball, but Atlanta have it going too. Coffee and Gray trying to get something going on the right side. Coffee gets a good look from the corner, catch and shoot free over Temi and she drills it. And then Alicia Gray has the size advantage on Wheeler, just blows right by her. Dantas does well to contest, but Gray showcases her athleticism and poise and is able to finish around the big body. I know what you're thinking, Caitlin Clark has been incredibly quiet so far. We've barely even mentioned her. But you already know that if she wakes up, that'll be a nightmare for the Dream. Caitlin on the right side tries her luck one-on-one with Maya Caldwell, steps back on the drive, launches a corner free and sets the Fever crowd on fire. That's her second free ball of the game and the crowd are getting into it. More great help defense here from Dantas, forces a miss on the drive, does well to get the rebound, and this time Erica Wheeler in transition rewards Temi for running the floor, who draws the foul and finishes. 3-point play for Indiana as she converts at the line. Tina Charles winding back the years, causing all sorts of problems for the Fever. Right here she does what she's done her whole career. Flip shot down low is all net. You cannot contain her with single coverage. So the next play, the Fever triple team her down low, three bodies surrounding her, but Tina Charles with all her experience is able to make the pass out of the post, and Coffee with a bit of luck on her side is able to score. Right here Rhyne Howard just darts inside past Clark to the goal, and yet again there's no resistance from Indiana. Atlanta go up 6, the Fever are forced into a timeout and it's not looking good. Caitlin Clark right here trying to make something happen, gives it up to Boston, who's trying to muscle her way down low. She's ripped, but the loose ball couldn't have landed to a better player in a better spot, and the WNBA's hottest sharpshooter sinks the corner free. Bit of luck there, but Atlanta go and get that right back. Again Charles drawing double teams down low, kicks out to the perimeter. Canada unselfishly makes the extra pass and Alicia Gray hits another one from that right corner. But if Atlanta want a shootout, the Fever have the fire on them. Once again, Lexi Hall receives the dribble handoff from Boston. That's too much room for her. She lets fire and is now 3 for 3 from the perimeter. Somebody we've not mentioned at all so far is Nalissa Smith. Clark runs the pick and roll with Boston. She makes the forward pass to Smith down low, who somehow from behind the backboard is able to create an angle and make a tough shot. That's a great play from Smith. Watch the movement here off the ball from Howard. She fakes it in the pick, gets her shot off and strokes it in nicely. Howard is just a certified bucket with a very smooth all-around game. Aliyah Boston here, top of the key, explores her options. The off-ball movement from Indiana is non-existent, so Boston goes right down the lane line, spins over her left shoulder and scores with the hook shot. But the Dream just can't miss in this first half. Alicia Gray here from the dribble handoff, and she makes it 7 first half threes for the Dream. The shot making was absolutely ridiculous, and this play right here sums it up. There's just seconds left in the half. Canada one-on-one with Clark has to go quickly. It's switched on to Boston, who excellently steps up, gets a hand in the shooter's face, forcing her into a high-arcing, long off-balance two-pointer, but she somehow sinks it in with 0.2 seconds left on the clock, and the Dream lead by 4 going into halftime. The Fever can't believe it. They've shot 61% from the field and 60% from the perimeter in this game and are trailing going into halftime. But the reason for that is because the Dream have attempted 15 more shots as a result of Indiana's poor ball security, turning the ball over 12 more times than the Dream. Still, this game isn't over and it gets a whole lot more crazy in the second half. Watch till the very end. Because things got ugly for the hosts. Atlanta get the first points of the half. Tina Charles down low is blocked by Smith on the first attempt. Angel Reese's the second, gets her own rebound, and her third attempt is good, and she gets an extra one at the line for her resilience. And then Rhyne Howard takes over. Here she slices the floor, gets to the elbow and cans the pull-up jumper. On the next play she makes Sports Center highlights. Watch Howard here stop on the drive, shakes off Lexi Hull who hits the deck. She finishes the play with the 3-pointer. Now you tell me down below in the comments, is that an ankle breaker or a push off? I'm thinking push off, but either way, that's the play of the night so far. And to start the third quarter, Indiana are sleepwalking. Finally, Caitlin Clark takes matters into her own hands, ball on the floor, goes to work, and on pure will and determination is rewarded by the basketball gods with the friendliest roll. But the Fever are in trouble now because Rhyne Howard is on fire. Watch her start from the low block, curl from the pin down to the nail, she makes it and draws the foul, and the Dream lead by 13. And it goes from bad to worse. Canada takes on Clark, absorbs contact, hits the deck, but is able to keep her composure and finishes. And 1, Fever down 15 points, make that 16 as Canada makes the free throw. Indiana have been terrible in this second half. Their offense is non-existent and Atlanta are running away with it. Finally they get something. Mitchell off the dribble puts the moves on Gray and like a running back gets inside and scores her signature scoop layup. It's no coincidence that as soon as she stopped scoring, the offense got stagnant. It's also no coincidence once she gets going, the Fever make up some ground. Watch the defense here, hand out to deny the passing lane, comes up with the steal, she steps back and pulls a transition 3-ball from the top of the key and drains it. And that's just what the doctor ordered. The momentum swings their way. Clark and Aliyah chip into the Dream lead at the line and it's cut to 5 points. But just when Indiana got within striking distance, the Dream break out of their cold streak. Fever defend well. Howard with seconds on the shot clock leans in and throws it up. She's fouled and somehow scores, but Indiana still have some rhythm going offensively. Clark and Boston pick and roll, bounce between the two defenders, and watch Aliyah here fake the pass then spin inside and score. Under a minute to go in the third, Dream lead by 6. Clark and Boston two-man game again. Caitlin Clark lets one fly from NBA range and it's good. The Fever from down 16 have just made it a one-possession game. Down to the final 30 seconds, Indiana looking to tie now with a stop here, but Tina Charles sinks the mid-range jumper at the death of the shot clock. Clark goes 2 for 2 at the line and cuts it back to 3 points. Incredible comeback from the Fever and it's all thanks to the big three who dragged them back from the dead in this ball game. But this isn't done yet and we have a fourth quarter well worth watching. And Caitlin Clark is just taking matters into her own hands now. First play of the fourth, is it Caitlin Clark or Caitlin Curry? Watch how she moves through multiple screens to the corner, all of that and she's not even open, but she takes and makes the shot anyways, and Caitlin Clark ties the game at 69 each. The crowd is back alive, what a start. Fast forward, the Fever back down 2. Canada, head full of steam, drives, misses. Boston with the rebound, gets it to Clark ASAP, and the WNBA's best passer finds Kelsey with the touchdown pass, and she ties it again at 71 each. Indiana are now playing some great defense, but Rhyne Howard is playing better offense. Watch her come downhill, step through past Lexi, and finish through contact. How many and ones is she gonna get in this game? But Caitlin Clark will not stop fighting. She sets up the two-man game with her and Boston. Clark decides to go alone with nowhere to go, but uses her footwork well to lean in and capitalize on the height advantage she has over Canada to score inside. But then it's Tina Charles again, trailing, hits her signature set shot jumper. Indiana want those points back. Caitlin probing, sees Temi trailing, finds her full head of steam to the hoop, but Naz Hillman rejects the shot. Dream getting out quickly in transition, and Howard steps into a transition triple, and that one hurt for Indiana. Down 6, every possession counts now. Lexi with the ball in her hands, runs the pick and roll with Boston, who instead of rolling, pops out to the elbow and she beats the shot clock with the jumper and scores. Fever need to tighten up on defense, but they just can't get stops. Howard drives across the baseline, feeds Hillman, who scoops it up and is fouled. Another and one for Atlanta. And it's back to a 7-point game. Things go from bad to worse. Howard misses the long 2, but Boston has the board knocked away by Gray, who cleans up and scores. Just over 5 minutes to go and the Fever are now down 9. The comeback was all for nothing, and a score here from Atlanta can put them back up double digits. Mitchell, using her IQ, anticipates the backdoor cut from Howard, comes up with the steal, races the other way, pumps the brake, pulls up in transition, it's good, but her foot was on the line yet again, and that's only a 2. Still, a string of stops defensively for Indiana gets them back in it. And when in doubt, get it to the big. Clark finds Boston inside, and she's not going to miss from there. It's back to a 5-point game. The Dream run a horn set for Tina Charles. She waits and finds Howard over the defense on the baseline cut. She hangs in the air and scores. Under 4 minutes to go now. Clark to Mitchell. Does well to find Temi, who kicks it out cross court to Lexi Hull, who can always be depended on to hit a big shot, and she cuts the lead again. 3 minutes left. Another Indiana stop. Caitlin, 2-man game with Aliyah. Clark lobs it into Boston. Goes to work, spins, flips it up and in. Aliyah Boston coming through massive for Indiana down the stretch. It's now a 2-point game with just over 2 minutes to go. Mitchell ties it at the line. This is incredible. Down 16, they brought it back, went down 9 again, and just like that, it's tied again. Now all Indiana need is to take the lead, but after several huge offensive rebounds, Atlanta take back control as Canada takes Clark all the way inside and scores. Down to the final 90 seconds. Clark in a hurry wastes no time and dishes out the get-ahead pass to Temi, who ties it up at 88 each. Fast forward, 45 seconds remain. Atlanta ball. They try to find Howard. Lexi almost gets the steal, but the Dream will keep possession. This time from the inbound, they get it into Howard. She backs down Lexi. Time's running out. Howard spins out of the post, gets inside, flips it, misses, but a late foul from Temi sends Howard to the line, and of course she makes both, and Atlanta are up 2 again. It's winning time for Indiana now. Who's gonna make a big play? Is it gonna be Mitchell? Is it gonna be Caitlin? No, it's neither. It was Aliyah Boston. Watch the 2-man game here and how Aliyah fakes the handoff to Caitlin, turns the corner, goes to the rim and scores, tying the game at 90 each. But it's not over. 18 seconds remain, and with the last shot, Atlanta can have a Dream finish. The shot clock's off. Ball's in Canada's hands. She drives, looking to make a play. Nothing is on. She gives it up to Hillman, who sneaks her way inside close range to win the game, puts it up, it's short, and the ball goes out of bounds. But wait, the referees have had a shocker here. Boston makes a game-saving play to get a piece of it, but quite clearly Hillman touched it last. But Atlanta get to keep the ball. Baseline out of bounds with 1.3 seconds to go. The Dream can win it with any basket here. They inbound to Alicia Gray. She gets a great look. Baseline fadeaway for the win. It's off. Indiana survive, and to overtime we go. We've got 5 more minutes of this insane basketball. First blood goes Indiana's way. Who else? Caitlin Clark crosses at speed, drives, steps back from the mid-range and knocks down a big one to give her team the lead. But Atlanta tie it back up. Alicia Gray in transition goes all the way and scores. Now Clark from the right side into Boston, down low, getting busy, backs in, turns and scores again. When will teams learn that nobody can stop Aliyah Boston in the low post one-on-one? But the Dream just won't go away. Howard with Lexi all over her makes a tough shot on the move right here, and the next possession she goes to the line, chance to restore the Dream lead. She has 34 points in the ball game, but shockingly goes 0 of 2, and the game remains tied. Under 3 minutes to go in overtime. Clark pick and roll with Temi. Wide open foul line set shot is good. Fever lead by 2 with just over 2 to go. But look at Canada, who again drives into a sea of bodies and gets it to go somehow, some way high off the backboard. 96-96. Nothing can separate these teams. Under 2 minutes to go now, and Atlanta take the lead. Howard redeems herself down low, spins into a fadeaway over Hull and scores. Ridiculous shot making from both teams. Pressure is on the Fever now, down 2. Kelsey Mitchell tries to drive across the baseline and reverse it in. She misses, but look who's there to clean up. Aliyah Boston again dominating, and with that layup, she matches her career high, and the game is tied at 98. Into the final 90 seconds of overtime now. The Fever are looking for one person only. That's Aliyah Boston. They find her on the inbound. The double comes. She kicks it out to Lexi, who throws it right back in there to Aliyah, who one-on-one wins the battle again with the hook shot. 30 points for her. That's a career high, and Indiana win the race to 100 points. There's 30 seconds to go. Canada inbounds to Charles. Deep position down low. Tina to tie it. Misses. Loose balls tipped out of bounds and the Fever keep possession. The Dream are forced to foul and Caitlin Clark keeps her composure and makes it a 4-point game at the line with 24 seconds to go. Right here, Indiana had thought they'd won it when Lexi Hall gets the stop, loose ball and the foul, but she goes to the line and somehow she misses both free throws with just 15 seconds to go. Running out of time, Atlanta have to go quickly. Canada on the drive is able to get a quick 2, and with 4.5 seconds left, Clark is immediately fouled, and with just a 2-point lead, Caitlin Clark steps up and with ice flowing through her veins, knocks down both free throws, and that's game over. The Fever steal an incredible comeback from down 16, losing the entire game. They somehow found a way to win and got it done. Aliyah Boston, bow, career high, 30 points, 13 rebounds, absolutely epic performance, made play after play down the stretch. Caitlin Clark also phenomenal, another double-double, 24 points and 12 assists. The Fever go marching on, they win again. Heartbreaking loss for Rhyne Howard, she did everything she could in this game, absolutely balling, but this is massive for Indiana, and if you have made it up to this point and enjoyed this video, want to see more breakdowns like this on the Fever games, make sure to subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell so you're notified every time we upload, and click the big box in the middle of your screen to check out our last game breaking down the Indiana Fever against the Los Angeles Sparks, where Caitlin Clark made history and did something that no WNBA player has ever done before. Go watch that, you'll enjoy it if you enjoyed this one, and on that note, it's DKM signing out until next time, and peace.